Hello all and welcome, and I'm the MGTOW philosopher, and in this video I would like to discuss how MGTOW will win and the feminist left will lose. And it is inevitable, folks, that we will win. Why will we win? Cause and effect. It's that simple. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. In the case of feminism and leftism, the equal and opposite reaction is MGTOW. For you see, everything will come full circle. And feminism, that tool of the left, that Trojan horse, which is one of their tools created to destroy Western civilization, to create the communist utopia, will you lose? It will lose. That's not good. Because we are right. It's that simple. Patriarchy works. Matriarchy does not. The force to right the ship that is listing has already been created as a direct result of the left's own actions. You see, MGTOW, it's an effect that will help balance out the equation that has become unbalanced, so to speak. For you see, evil creates its own destroyer by creating its own enemies, and those enemies will destroy it. Men are that enemy. The left and women have made an enemy out of men, the biggest mistake they could have possibly made. But of course, they know this, and so the state seeks to brainwash, feminize, emasculate, subjugate the male of the species. And they've done a pretty good job of it. But not all men have been brainwashed. Not all. And just as the faux leftist feminist movement rose up in response to imaginary male oppression, so men will rise up against real female oppression. They already have. It's already happened. The movement has already begun. And it's begun in the form of MGTOW. Now, you might ask yourself, well, geez, it's already begun and it's taken place. What's taken so long? Well, the media, the government, the rich global elite that brainwash and emasculate the men so that they can achieve their communist utopia. That's why it's taking so long, okay? But it is happening, slowly but surely. For, you see, MGTOW is the sleeper awakening. It's the unavoidable pushback against the unfair treatment of men. And it will continue to grow. But you have to be patient, but it'll take time. But being patient doesn't mean you sit by and do nothing. Oh no. For you see, too many men are still indoctrinated. Your white knights, your manginas, your cucks, these guys who still worship women and serve women's interests. This has to change, and it will change, because men are being pushed more and more, and eventually all men are going to break, or at least the majority of them. It's already happening. You can see it. You can see it in MGTOW. You can see it in how the media portrays us. How they portray us, for example, as losers. How they try to shame us and scare us away from going our own way. That tells you that we are having success. That tells you that they see us as a threat. And that means we're making progress. And now is the time that we have to start using their own tactics against them. What I mean by that is that we men must form groups. We must organize. That is what women have been doing for years, and that's why they've been successful. And now we have to use their own tactics against them. Fight fire with fire. Because most men, they don't know what we are, and they don't know what we know. Most are still blue-pilled, and they're living in an insulated reality where they are constantly fed anti-male propaganda day after day after day. They are men who don't know what it means to be a man, or that they are, through their own indoctrination and actions because of that indoctrination, crafting the very chains of their own oppression and enslavement. They are men who believe feminism is actually about equality, and that women only want equal rights, not superiority. Now, the problem is that MGTOW are generally lone wolves. We need to put that aside. We need to put that aside and use the left's tactics of organizing against them. We must make our voices heard, gentlemen, for we are the pushback, and the pushback is inevitable. Everything will come full circle because matriarchy is not normal for human beings. It does not work. We can see that in the society at large, how it's collapsing, how it's falling apart. We are the equation's attempt to balance itself, to right the sinking ship. And we must, because, quite honestly, women do a bad job of running things. And we men need to step up before they sink the ship entirely. And we will rise up. It's inevitable. Even with all the indoctrination, men will rise up. Just as the faux feminists rose up, so too with very real MGTOWs. But we have to be heard. You need to understand that we have to be heard, and that complaining isn't enough. Sharing horror stories about women and anecdotes with each other is not enough. We have to become more than just lots of disparate voices. We have to become one singular, powerful voice, not a marginalized one. And that means more pushback, more organizing, more solidarity between MGTOW and all men, and yes, more collectivism. Now, collectivism is not wholly evil or bad if used for the right reasons. It's a part of why the right to protest exists, and a part of why the left has been so successful. Group movements work. Individual movements do not. And we will have to come together as a movement and push back more and more if we're going to win. And we will. Because the pushback is inevitable. Because that is the nature of karma. You reap what you sow. What you send out comes back to you. So, everything is going to come full circle. Leftism and its Trojan horse of feminism will fall, and the natural order will prevail. Me, I'm a manifestation of karma. You red pill men out there, are a manifestation of karma. My posting of this video, calling on all of you to come together, is a manifestation of karma. And my asking all of you to be more proactive, more outspoken, and to organize is also a manifestation of karma. All unjust movements eventually end. All end because they become victims of their own bad policies, their own bad actions, their ill treatment of others, as will happen with the left and feminism. And so we will win. But we must all do our part. We must do more to educate young men, not just on the internet, but in the real world as well. We must do more in the real world. We have to come together. We have to protest more. We have to become a larger voice. And as we educate more and more young men and teach them more, and learn to come together in groups, to work together in collectives, we will become larger and make our voices heard, and change will come. We can all be agents of change, but we have to do more than we're doing now. We have to do more than even simply making videos or posting comments on each other's MGTOW channels. We have to do more than that. This is a good start, and it's a start of a movement. But more needs to be done to pick up momentum, to change this movement from one of, say, trying to herd 1,000 cats, which is what MGTOW has often been called, because we're all such lone wolves, as men tend to be, and we have a difficulty forming groups, into some kind of collective movement where all those cats are following the same agenda, have the same goal, want to achieve the same things. That's not so easy. But we as men have to learn these skills, because women, they've got them down pat, and that's why they have been winning. Now we have to take the lessons that they have taught us through their unjust success, and we have to use them against them and achieve just success and balance out the equation and return the world to some sense of normalcy. And we will. It's inevitable. The natural order wants to return to the natural order. It's really that simple. I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I will wish you well. Take care.